Quick intro. All right, welcome back to the Beatdown Bandits podcast. So I am Colin, and with me is I think this is the first time I've ever had two guests. I've had two other hosts, but never guests before. So this is a first for this podcast. Some of you, at least some of you, will recognize Kamiyo over here. So now he's sporting the sweet hairdo. It's Kamiyo Sans beanie, which it's been a while, I think, since I've seen that. But so welcome to Kamiyo. And then
Hello.
we also have Hockey or Zenko, as usually would refer to him as. He does not have a cam, so you will not see him today, but he will remain mysterious.
Maybe I buy one after this.
There we go.
The man without a face.
In future episodes, yeah, I'll just put a generic face over where his cam would normally be.
That would be hilarious.
Please throw it in paint or something.
Perfect. Yeah. with just a goofy looking face, that'll be perfect.
And please don't paint a dick.
I wasn't going to until you now said that, so now it's just gonna be.
Maybe that was just
everywhere.
a small hint, so you do it, you know.
Nice. All right. So in today's episode, I wanted to discuss Apex Legends of all things, which is like 3/4 of my episodes. But it's a great topic because it's near and dear to all of our hearts. I have some legend concepts which maybe by pure coincidence these have been done before, but these were all my own ideas. So if there is anything that repeats, if anybody has thrown ideas out there in YouTube space or Reddit space or wherever, it's purely coincidental. So all these all original ideas. So we're going to kind of go through them one by one. And if my two guests want to rip them apart and shred them, I'm all for it because I am not attached to these legends by any means whatsoever. But hopefully we can kind of tweak them to make some pretty cool legend concepts. And then they might have ideas of their own, but we shall see. So I do have these kind of typed up. So if you are watching on YouTube, that is great. If you are on Spotify, that is also awesome, or Apple Podcasts, whatever, that's great. But hey, I would recommend maybe checking out over on YouTube so you can actually kind of follow along and see what we're doing. So.
And see those nice faces.
And see the beautiful faces, which is the most important thing.
Exactly.
So, are you guys able to see my screen now?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. If not, I'm going to read it regardless, so it doesn't matter. So, Legend Concept 1, this was the first one I created, and I'm kind of stuck on the passive. The passive was the last thing I did of all my concepts. So I'm just going to start with passive, tactical, and then ultimate. So this legend is a camera legend of some sorts. Kind of like a little mix of Bloodhound, which is my most hated character that I hate running into. So why this was my first idea, I don't know. So their passive ability, and again, this is the one I'm like least attached to of all things you will see, is they emit a small pulse, and I apparently misspelled emit. I don't know how to spell that for some reason, but they emit a small pulse from their body, which can detect close by enemies. It's also invisible, like so if you remember Bloodhound's original pulse that he had, his tactical ability back in season 0, season 1, season 2. I forget when his ultimate, or excuse me, tactical changed to be just so massive where it scans an entire city. His little tiny one that he used to have, it's that concept, but it would be 360 degrees around this legend. It is invisible unless you actually get scanned. But this legend could see it. So as it pulses, they would be able to see enemies through a wall or whatever. So that's the passive. Again, that's the one I really struggled with. I had other ideas, but I don't know. So a little tiny pulse would be okay, I thought.
So he would be basically a living, breathing radar, right?
A living, breathing radar. And it would, maybe like 20 to 30 seconds it would pulse. But it's a small little pulse. So you would actually have to be like in the next room. If you're in a building, you'd have to be right next to them. So you remember Bloodhound's original scan that he had? It would basically just scan the building he's standing in front of. it was small. So it would be maybe even smaller than that. Just a real quick pulse is kind of how I pictured that. Their tactical ability, which is the one I thought was one of my favorites of all the abilities, is 3 throwable cameras. So if you kind of picture the crypto drone that he would have, it would be the same ability basically to be able to view those, get on the camera at any time, but they would have 3 of them. They are not removable, so I mean you may take them off, but once you throw them, they're like sticky cams. So if you throw them, like if you're standing underneath a building and you throw it up on top of the roof, you would have a camera view there. They can probably be destroyed. I would think that would seem fair as a counter to that. Similar to like caustic gas traps, once you place down a max amount, I would guess 3. The first one that you place down gets destroyed. So once you throw it, the first one is gone. Only that legend can view them, similar to like a crypto drone. The cameras can rotate, so you can see. However, they don't scan like a crypto would. So there's no scanning ability. So this person would have to be able to communicate. Hopefully have some type of mic or be able to ping smart enough. But they can go on those cams and see wherever they are. So if you're like if you're in round 2 or whatever, and you're able to throw your cameras, like say it's like in Skyhook, and you're able to throw your cameras everywhere, then that would be pretty effective, I would think. So yes, you have a question. You're muted, I think.
No, sorry, I just lost connection for a second, but now I'm back. I don't know what happened, but I'm back. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So, do you not have a question, or are you just letting me know you left class for a moment? You don't have to raise your hand. You can just yell at me. So that's perfectly fine. So, any questions, comments, concerns about the tactical or passive so far? Cuss words, whatever. It doesn't matter.
I think my first opinion about passive would be it sounds okay, and it wouldn't be too overpowered, but I also would say I don't know how usable this could be in Apex, but I mean it just depends how far this range would be, because if we are saying, for example, 10 meters or 10 feet, sorry.
No, I know what meters are. We use those. We use meters, at least in the United States as well.
Okay.
So.
I guess it would be so close that you could also already hear the footsteps, and therefore I don't know how useful this would be then, maybe, but I guess you could at least see maybe something on the map. Then I guess then it would be a little bit more useful. If you, for example, if the passive scans somebody, that you get some notification on the map where they actually are. But I guess that was your opinion, and know your actual idea, right?
Well, if we jump to the ultimate, so the ultimate is kind of like that. So the ultimate, when you activate it, all the cameras that you place, so say you have 3 cameras around in Skyhook. I'm just using Skyhook as an example. So you've got 3 cameras kind of triangle shaped around Skyhook. When you activate your ultimate, excuse me, it does a pulse and like a sphere shape. So if you have a camera on top of a building, on the side of a mountain, on the first floor of a building, on the ground, whatever, it will scan like a ball shape. However, maybe I put 100 meters. I don't know, maybe that's too much, but it will scan way around that area. And similar to like Map Room in Kings Canyon, all your teammates can now view the map and see those enemies that got scanned for however much time. So the whole concept of the legend is basically just like an intel scanning type of a legend, but at a different distance than Bloodhound or a crypto, because you could have your cameras on the other side of the map and throw those down and have them scattered all through the place, and then you could scan wherever. I think it would make more sense to have them within striking distance of you, but. So yeah, that's the thought. Like I said, the passive was the one I'm not sold on at all. So
I think I know where you got the inspiration for the tactical ability.
Oh, I bet you do.
Let me guess. It's from Valkyrie's Black Eyes from
Yes.
Rainbow Six Siege.
Exactly. And like I kept trying to keep myself from saying she or her, but I do picture this legend as a female, which is probably from Valkyrie. But yeah, I thought the camera would make sense of being able to deploy them. It would be slightly different with the pulsing aspect of it, and you know, but again, the communication I think is key with her.
And but about the ultimate ability, the sphere is per camera itself around with the 100 meters, right? It's not
Correct.
like you place it on a few different spots, and also the middle part of these cameras are scanned, but it's the other way around. So every cam scans for its own.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if you only have one camera down, it only is going to scan from that camera. So I thought the ultimate gave her a better ability, because if you had them, say, strategically placed all over the place and you could scan a large amount of areas and kind of see where all those enemies are. So if you watch all your choke points and things like that, if you're being tracked or whatever, it would, that kind of gives you that strategy or whatever.
Okay, so it's not actually, like you said before, it's not really a triangle. So it's just for every camera on its own, like.
Yeah, when I said triangle, I meant like that's how I would, if I were to play this legend, I would try to strategically, especially if I'm in closer to a late game, say I'm getting into like round 2, round 3, I would try to place my 3 cameras like in a triangle, and that way it's gonna scan everything. So get every angle that somebody's gonna come to me.
Well, it allows like camping like caustic, but on a higher scale, I think. I mean, with caustic, you just run into a building and place your 3 traps on every door, and once someone enters, you know exactly from which door they enter. With this ultimate ability, I think you could, let's say, I don't know, like Kings Canyon with these mountains, like they all have these stupid camping spots.
Yeah.
Like around the swamps and stuff like that on the east side. I think you could do it for insane camping strategies, like you throw one there, you go to a recon area station, scan the area so you know at which zone it will end, and you throw one in that direction and one in that, and you stay in a mountain, and you have all the intel you need when the zone is really close. I think you need, it's, I guess, not hard to pull off, but I think it's hard as it's easy to learn but hard to master, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a lot like a crypto, where like, oh yeah, I got this figured out, but it takes, the elite cryptos have a lot of skill. So yeah, it's got a high learning concept basically behind this one. Like they could be easily like the best intel gatherer, and like you said, it's like almost you could be a little campy with it, but it takes a lot more skill than a caustic camper.
But also I'm on with that, with your opinion about the passive ability. I'm not sure. It's like it's tried to kick off Bloodhound's ability. Just the problem is just the cooldown with 36. I don't know. I think Bloodhound has 18 or 17 seconds on his scan.
Yeah, something like that. They could also that's true. Yeah, it's less. So maybe it's just a constant pulse. Every like 5 seconds they're pulsing. Now they can't see it, but they could detect.
Yeah, but then I would say so that it may scan every 5 seconds, but on the other hand, that it won't go through walls or stuff like that. But because otherwise it might be kind of strong in this close quarter combats, like back in the days when Skulltown was a thing.
Oh yeah.
I think I can imagine that it would be insanely good on Skulltown, or like the what was the second map? This with Edge. I can't get.
World's Edge.
Yeah, World's Edge. There's also these little cities. I think it might be the legend to pick if you drop on these spots, and also with the cameras. I think if you don't consider your options about the camera placements, it will be a shitty pick, in my opinion. But if you master these nasty spots on the map where you go like, okay, that camera is has the best spot. So if someone third parties you, which is the lot of it's almost every time the case in Apex, you could have a cover up for you could have a backup. So like, okay, we go in, fight this team, and in the midway of our fight, I will start my ultimates to see if we are getting third party.
Yeah, and that was always like the thing with Valkyrie and Rainbow Six is like you could have like a very average Valkyrie and like she wasn't very good. The cameras kind of were just basic, but then like the elite ones know every spot to put a camera. And so if you get those, these camera legend operators in Apex that know every spot around every map of where to place them, yeah, I mean, maybe that would be big. And as we were talking, like maybe that's an additional part to this person's passive is maybe if she is on a camera or looking at her cameras, they will pick up scans like a crypto drone. But if she is off of them, they don't. So she actually has to be utilizing them. Or she also gets maybe the map beacon ability to where she can hack the beacons. And that might be another thing for her. So there we go. All right. So you think it'll work or no? Because I think it would. I like the camera aspect.
The thing is, I was just thinking for a second again about the tactical, because when you have all three cameras, would you just have to activate them, or would you have three tiny screens where you could see what is happening?
No, my thought was once you place, so say you throw one down, you hold your tactical ability button, Q, or it's like LB for Xbox or whatever, the L2 or whatever for PlayStation. You hold it, you go into your camera. If you have multiples, then you can just tap it again to switch between screen to screen to screen. So if you have all three placed, you would just tap your button to do it again or to go into your camera.
Okay. But when an enemy would pass by, you wouldn't get notified.
And see, maybe that's an addition to her passive is if she's in a camera or watching one of her cameras, all of her cameras will scan, just like a crypto drone. But if she's not in it, maybe it wouldn't.
Okay.
So you actually have to be utilizing it, which kind of balances it. So she has to be still and looking at her cameras to be able to scan.
Yeah, okay.
So it's not quite the same as any crypto, because crypto drone can scan whether he's in it or not. So, and maybe just for balancing, like they're very obvious, like they're bright colored cameras, or something, or the light is really bright or something on them. I'm not sure. That way, people can destroy them if they need to.
The thing is, the one thing I'm just thinking about is tactical is how useful it could really be, because I mean, in order to detect something, you would have to sit on these cameras or watch them, so that it would be actually beneficial. I mean, Apex can be a pretty fast game, and therefore enemies can pass by so fast that you might just miss the moment, and you didn't even notice that somebody was there or just passed by. So I don't know. I guess the problem with me is I never played this Valkyrie from Rainbow Six Siege. But it's also a different game. So I don't really know how useful this could be in Apex. I guess it could be pretty strong.
Yeah, it wouldn't be useful in a fight at all. It would have to be used between fights or rotating. Like that's when it's most effective. I mean, it's a lot like just a regular. I mean, the crypto drone, you can get that ability. They're easy to shoot, but it with her having multiple throwable cameras, maybe that just kind of adds that balancing effect to it. But yeah, it would have to be done in the safety of an area, just like you would get on a crypto drone. You got to be hiding around a corner in a building somewhere safe. So yeah, not super useful mid-fight for sure. All right. Okay, we got a little bit of time, so we'll maybe hit the next legend, and then we'll take a real quick break. All right, so legend concept number 2 is a teleporting legend. So passive ability, and this was one I'm like, what's something that we have not been able to, like, nobody's been able to do, is stay outside of playable areas for an extended time. So if they're like on top of a mountain, on top of like super tall buildings they're not supposed to be on, that time is extended. So I think we have like 30 seconds now, like maybe they get 45 seconds or something like that. So extended period of time on that. So if they're a good sniper, it's dangerous. That's one advantage to this person. And then they can detect mirage decoys and wraith tacticals and ultimate abilities if they're anywhere nearby. So they can detect them or see them or whatever, maybe through walls or whatever. That's also part of their passive. Tactical ability is the main part of their ability. Is they get teleportation pads. A little smaller than like an octane pad. They place them down. When they stand on the pad, they can teleport instantly to other pads. So they could just activate their tactical over and over to switch kind of between their 4 pads. So if they place down pad 1, pad 2, pad 3, pad 4 all over the map, they stand on one, it goes to the next pad. So they would hit their tactical ability. They would go from pad 4 to pad 1, hit it again. They go from pad 1 to pad 2, so on and so forth. Short cooldown timer, similar like an animation of like a Loba bracelet. You throw it, there's a little bit of a cooldown and an animation to that. So they can't like go from pad to pad to pad to pad as like a way to like cheat the system and things like that. So they're not OP. And I thought of like an animation when they enter like a pad or they stand on a pad and you activate it. There's like a 2-second delay. So you can be shot. You can't just like instantly escape by getting on a pad. You have to stand there. There's an animation. So you phase out or something, but you can be shot while you're doing that. And then the ultimate ability, I thought was maybe like it was almost like a Mirage's original ultimate where he could go invisible. I pictured it being a little bit stronger. I forget how long Mirage's like original was, but potentially a little bit longer of an ability or maybe quieter as well. They can be shot while in that ability, but they cannot shoot. So it's not crazy overpowered. So it's pretty much almost a pull from Mirage's original ultimate ability that he had. So thoughts, ideas, concepts, concerns, cuss words, whatever on the teleporting legend.
I think
You wanna go first?
my biggest, yeah, sorry, I will try to go first.
Just go ahead. Go ahead.
My biggest concern would be the passive, because I can already see that people would abuse the shit out of this, and
Sure.
it just gives way more opportunities to try to exploit the game. So I don't know
Okay.
how good this would be for the game. Yeah, that was just my take on the ability.
Does the timer reset like every time you get on top of something, or is it not reset? So if you get on top of something and the timer ticks down, you drop down and you get back up onto it, does the timer reset or does it continue where you left off?
Not entirely sure, but I think it resets.
Okay.
I hope it resets. Otherwise, it will be. I don't know. I think it's
I think
resets,
so.
but you have a cooldown. Like I don't know. You can't just jump down and up again. I think. So
Yeah.
you have a little bit. Let's say 10. You need to be on the ground for 10 seconds, and then it's resetted. I think so, but I'm not sure. I never tried it out.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something that would fit the whole teleportation aspect. And I kind of thought like, a strategic idea for this person would be to place one of their portals on top of a mountain that you're not supposed to be on, place another one on the ground, and you could teleport back and forth to it. Like it gives this person like a really unique, cool advantage. Yeah, that would be the only crazy part, but there's still a timer on the guy, so he can't stay up there for 3 minutes and just go crazy. True. So yeah, maybe it just adds an extra like 15 seconds to the timer, so it's not crazy overpowered. But if he's a good sniper, it causes a problem. All right. Any
My-
other thoughts?
My next thing would be about the tactical ability. Because you talked about that you could actually place them all over the map. If I understood this correctly,
Sure.
I think you at least would need to have some kind of a range, because plotting all over the whole map sounds pretty overpowered to me.
Well, it's also can be very dangerous. So
Yeah,
keep in mind
true.
your teammates cannot use it. So if I teleport from one
Okay.
side of the map to the other, and somebody happens to see, oh hey, there's a teleportation pad. Let's camp here for a minute and see if the dude comes back. I mean, you're totally screwed. Or any caustic sees one, they're just going to drop 3 gas traps on it and say, enjoy your death. So I don't think it's too overpowered. And if you teleport into the ring, you very easily could die. Especially if it's like round 3, round 4, you're going to be stuck there for a little bit with a cooldown. So I don't think it's that overpowered. Plus, like I said, you're isolating yourself from your teammates.
Yeah. Okay. No, because at first I thought that your whole team can use this.
Oh yeah, no, it's a solo ability.
Okay.
So they don't. It's a lot like a Mirage currently, or Octane kind of used to be, whereas like it's very solo type of legend. He's not a super team player type of aspect. So it's kind of how this dude is.
The last thing that I would say about the ultimate is, I think it's actually fine. Could be maybe even a little bit stronger, for example, that he is allowed to shoot, but then he is immediately
Yeah, so maybe
out
like
of his
when they
cloak
activate
or
it,
something.
the guns are holstered, but if they unholster their guns, they automatically pop out. That could be a real easy tweak to it, I guess. And yeah, maybe you give them, because 7 seconds may not be enough for somebody to like flank. I tried to give them like enough time to be able to get around, but then they would also be solo. So if they get behind a squad, they're still by themselves. So that was my experience with Mirage back in the day. Was I'd flank a team like, oh yeah, I got this. I'd knock 1, maybe 2, but I'm screwed by the time the third guy sees me. So it's like it was never that powerful. So yeah, I mean, maybe you give them more time and the ability to pull out their gun without, while still being cloaked.
Yeah, that would be fine, I think.
All right, I like it. Anything else? And otherwise, we need to take a short break.
I would say let's
How
take a
about you,
short
Zenko?
break, and maybe I think I said something my opinion to that.
Okay, sounds good. All right, yeah. We'll go ahead and stop now. Short break. Commercial break.
Hello, I am Colin, and I am a grown man that likes to play video games.
Go pick it up. Oh.
Sometimes I play with friends.
Oh my god. What? I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Help.
Sometimes I play with myself. Wait, no. Sometimes I play alone.
Fish whip.
But I always have a blast when I play.
G0 Bucky says. Gibraltar looks like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I do my best to mix up all of my content to definitely entertain the masses. I always enjoy watching other gaming content on YouTube, but I feel like I'm pretty darn good, maybe the best. So you should go ahead and come on over and subscribe and introduce yourself to me. Thanks. See ya.
All right, so back with so I think we're still on Legend 2, and Zenko, I think you said you had one other part to add.
Yeah, he now wants to destroy this legend.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
What about I'm not sure about the passive, because it could be used good as a sniper, but outside of that, it's kind of useless.
Okay.
So you are forced to use a sniper rifle with this legend. And I don't know, I'm not a sniper guy except when it's the Kraber. I hit the other snipers, but so you have only one weapon, which you can decide what to use. Probably R99 or something for the close quarter combat. So you can switch up to the top, try to snipe someone off, and then drop again, or you just do it like that. So when an airdrop drops in Kraber, you give it to that guy. With the teleportation pads, my question was also can only he use it or everyone, like the ref bottle, but we cleared that up.
Yeah, I think it's too much if the whole team can sit there and teleport around. So yeah,
that was my opinion too. So it's cool with the animation, so like Loba, so it's not too broken. Also, if the show is cool on that, because when I first read it, I was like, I don't know, I thought our Shroud putting 4 teleport pads around himself and fighting one team at his time, or Zolo blinking from one spot to another, doing like this crazy stuff that came into my mind. So I think the short cooldown would be necessary, because otherwise you just peek that corner, shoot, go to another corner, and so on. And with the ultimate ability, I think it's fine, but I would add that if you get damage, you would also decloak, in my opinion. Like
that's fair.
And like, I don't know, because otherwise and also that you can press the button. The ultimate ability is to turn it off, like, because I think otherwise it would be too annoying. Like, I mean, when you use 2 seconds of your ultimate ability to flank that guy, so you need to wait 5 more seconds to even shoot. That's, I think, a little bit annoying. So maybe a turn off button so to use the full potential of that ability. Other than that, I think when you shoot, that you also decloak. I thought about the cloaking mechanism and Heroes of the Storm. So like you see, even if it's cloak, you see a little silhouette of him running around, so you could shoot him, and like that. That might be or could be the downside of the ultimate ability. So you are not fully invisible like Mirage. So you are slightly like shivering effects on you, or like a little silhouette. So you could spot it if you concentrate on that. But other than that, I think it's fine. It could be used for some insane plays.
Yeah.
Again, like the Intel guy. I mean, it's probably easy to play, hard to master. I mean, you could pull some insanely good stuff with him. But on the other hand, if you not sure about how to utilize this legend to its fullest, it might be let's say not that rewarding. So you probably need to spend time on him, like the previous one, to unlock his potential.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing I saw with him was like in fights is like fighting from a building and placing one on top of the building and one underneath, and one even like flanking behind the team. Like if you could set that up around teams coming in and being able to go from on the ground fighting and then to get above them, and within a few seconds you're shooting down on them, that's pretty powerful. So yeah, I could see some pretty good usage on that.
But one question about the tactical ability again, then I'm also done. The pad placements would be through the minimap, I guess, if you can place it all around the map. Otherwise, it would be good to add that you can also use it, like just point your finger at the spot and you place it, because I think in a fight or stuff like that, it could be hard to open your map, choose a location to get off. I mean, I'm not sure how it's on the consoles, but I mean, on PC you could easily do it if you're fast, but I don't know. Just like the looting on console, it's slightly slower than the PC, so it might be also with this ability then. So you could just choose from the map, right? I don't know, the additional button. So if you open the map and press the ability button, you place the pad there, or just point in, like, let's say Mirage index finger or stuff like that. So bing, there goes a pad, and one goes on the map. Just to balance, and not balance, but just to have a more welcoming aspect of using, and because it's otherwise might be too restricted about usability.
Yeah, I like it. I didn't even think about that. Going to the map. I love that you brought up the console looting. I just recently found like a little meme of R2D2. He's like repairing a ship, and he's out on a ship, standing there with like lasers going all through him. It's like, this is what it's like looting. It's on the console with a controller. It's like R2D2 out on a ship, trying to repair it, and just everything going off in the distance. So
before we go to the next concept, I have to agree with Zenko because of the ultimate. Because what always annoyed me about the old Mirage ultimate was that you had no way to decloak yourself, and so I think it would be really necessary, like Zenko said before, that you can decloak yourself when you, for example, want to shoot somebody or something like that.
If you, as the original Mirage, if you try to pull out a gun and shoot, or could you just not do that at all? You had to wait.
You could not do it.
You needed
had
to wait.
Yeah,
and that was the annoying part.
Yeah, because I never had a problem with the Mirage's Ultimate originally, but I prefer his new one. But yeah, like this is that makes sense. So yeah, if you would just even pull out a gun, or like hit your ultimate again and it deactivates, I think that makes it a lot more useful for this person.
Well,
okay, I like it. All right. So speaking of being able to snipe, so obviously I had to add like some type of sniping legend. So this is concept number 3 is just a marksman or a sniper legend. So the first thing I thought about was like the ultimate ability actually on this guy, but I'll get to that last. But the passive ability is they're able to hold additional sniper ammo and has an added slot in their inventory for an extra scope. So if they're using a triple take or whatever, they can hold not only like a 4x8, but they can also hold like a 2-time without having to switch between weapons or drop it or whatever. So they would have additional slot or slots to hold additional, potentially maybe multiple scopes. So not super useful, but if they're going to be sniping the whole game, having additional ammo, not taking up a bunch of extra inventory space is pretty useful. Tactical ability is a thermal vision eyepiece. So just be able to like pop it down, kind of picture it as like a monocle or something. They can just slide down something with that, where they would be able to just like Arnold's Predator that he has to go up against. They have basically like heat vision where they can kind of see through walls or whatever, and it's on a cooldown. So say he's only able to use it for a certain amount of time. He's got to pop it back up, and it has to like recharge before he can pop it back down. And then finally, the ultimate ability is like a chameleon ability. And so this is something I've always wanted to do in Apex. And every once in a while, and I play, and I'm like, why can't I go prone? So I was like playing Call of Duty or something and switching back to Apex. I'm like getting pissed off that my dude doesn't lay down. Like it would be so useful to lay down as a sniper or whatever. So I thought, just why not, some type of like ghillie suit that this person can throw on really quick that allows them to kind of blend in, and maybe like a concept of like a mix of between these two, or just one of these, either like a ghillie suit that kind of turns them into a chameleon where they blend into things, or potentially lay down prone, or maybe both. I don't know if it's too powerful, but they would be able to also like reload guns potentially at a faster pace, because sometimes the reloads are super slow. So maybe like a reload snipers at an increased speed during this time. So there you go. There's my sniper legend, or my marksman legend.
Do you want to go first, or should I go?
I
Go
could
ahead.
go first. I mean, the huge I mean, the only disappointing part, not on the idea itself, but when you compare these three
It's
abilities,
disappointing. I'm sorry.
No, that's not what I meant. But if you compare the three abilities with the passive, the tactical, and the ultimate, the passive is the one that looks like the worst in that combination. I mean, the thermal vision, I like it. Really like, I don't know, like the Widowmaker kind of stuff. It's pretty neat. The chameleon ability is also nice. Like, like you could also like. I mean, I thought about like the old Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter games where they were also got a cloak, stuff like that, or Crisis. It was always fun to play with the invisibility, but I would say that it only blends if you don't move, in my opinion. So that if you move, you are also again visible.
Okay,
and maybe
that
you
makes
could
sense.
also that's just my idea for the passive. Another thought, not to change it, like for example, it's the marksman's legend. So you think about this man, or like this veteran sniper man who knows everything about sniping. Maybe like stuff like that. If you use a sniper with that guy or gal, that your bullets have no bullet drop off, or like they have a higher bullet velocity, so that they, let's say, not hit scan itself, but also more like pinpoint. So you just shoot a straight line, and that's the unique thing about this marksman pro, let's say that.
Okay.
So that you just need to consider their movement, but not the bullet drop off. That would
Could
be
also
my
be like maybe like
idea.
reduced recoil or whatever. Like almost like if they have a white barrel stabilizer on, it equals like a blue or something like that. It's almost like the next level. So they just have like reduced recoil and reduced, or increased stability maybe. So it's not. I mean, they could have the bullet drop off, but like physics wise, that wouldn't necessarily. I mean, not that physics is a real thing in Apex, but
Nah, or maybe like they could change the shape of the scope. Like, I mean, you get an hollow side and you can just turn it into a 2 times or 3 times.
Yeah, what if they can
That could also
craft?
be interesting.
Maybe they have like that's maybe a passive is they can take any site and craft it into something else.
Yeah, would be cool. I mean, everyone has this preferred sites. I mean, I never used the third times scope, and I just also I see them always in this pro game scene where they everyone uses the 3 times also in the close fights, and I'm like, why? How can you aim at that close line? I mean, I always use the hollow side or the 2 times at best. But yeah, crafting another scope or maybe changing it would be also cool for a passive ability. Not too strong, also not too weak, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
So the thing that I was just thinking about, so the passive that Zenko told about, I actually like the idea, or the ideas he explained. What just came into my mind because I was thinking how I would try to do a legend like that. There was just something in my mind because he's maybe a legendary marksman, that he has the ability like Hanzo in Overwatch. If you're familiar with him, with his old ability, he could actually, his shots could ricochet, if this is the right word, I'm not entirely sure. So
it is,
could bounce off some walls and then hits, and then you would still be able to hit your enemy, and that could be maybe also a pretty cool idea for a sniper, so that you are actually able to also shoot around corners and maybe. But it's just,
was it wanted? Yeah, where they bend the bullets or whatever. Or what if they have like with their ultimate a like additional bullets they can have that are like explosive rounds or something like that?
That would be also cool, yeah.
Flame rounds, I don't know. I mean that might be an additional possibility.
But yeah, and like Zenko said before, the technical is pretty cool. I like this. Would be a nice way to improve or just make sniping a little bit more useful, I would say.
Mhm.
And the ultimate is fine, but I mean, if you just imagine the hide and seek championships or just hide and seek in Apex, then
Not even fair anymore.
I mean, then people are already blind, and with this, there would be no chance they would ever see you.
So maybe with that ultimate, maybe it's not like too overpowered, but they like Zenko said, like almost like you have to stand still to kind of blend
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
If they're moving, it goes away, but maybe while your ultimate is active, if you stop, you slowly blend into the background and you're definitely harder to see. So yeah, I mean, you're like you said, people are blind in the game, which is crazy, but you do have to have like your ultimate activated, so it's not super often you would be able to do that. But my desperate thing, like the one thing that I thought of that started this whole thing was the laying down in prone position.
Yeah, okay.
I think like having one legend, which makes sense as a sniper legend, to be able to lay down makes perfect sense. And he can only do it with his ultimate, so he can only maybe do it 3 or 4 times a game max, so it wouldn't be too crazy powerful or whatever. All right, anything else with this gentleman? I do like the concept, basically, that he's an old like war veteran type of guy, in his 50s, or even like an older, like 60s, like old Price or something like that from dude, just old Scott guy, that'd be kind of cool.
And do you know the old Metal Gear Solid 3 game, if I'm correct? I think you played with Big Boss there, and there was also an enemy, an old guy in a wheelchair who was a legendary sniper. That would be also kind of funny. I don't know how, but
are you saying this guy should be in a wheelchair, or
no, that's
not
gonna suck to say.
Rolling around in the wheelchair, can you?
you gotta hope you land on where the end zone is, otherwise good luck rotating.
I mean, we need some more diversity. That's all I'm saying.
Handicapped legends. That's Apex Legends 2, is the handicapped legends. All right, moving on. Legend Concept 4 is a stealth assassin. So this one I've just tweaking like the differences between the passive and the tactical and the ultimate. They're all a little similar in some concepts. So the passive with this dude is they're able to open doors completely silent, and the finishers are double speed. So they can finish twice the speed. So it only takes, like 2 seconds or whatever to do a finisher. So super quick there. So easy passive, but can also be super useful. Maybe not. I mean, there might be another part that you can add to this. It's not a whole lot of stuff to it, but it's pretty quick and simple. The tactical ability, when activated, they have quieter steps, not silent, but quieter steps. And they're not detectable by any type of scans or drones, or from my Legend 1, they can't be seen on cameras. So they're basically like in ninja mode. This one needs to be tweaked. This one needs something else to it. So this is the one that I'm like stuck on. And then the ultimate ability is like a silent rush, the completely silent footsteps, increased speed, which is similar to Octane's, maybe not quite as fast, but with no health cost. And they'd be completely silent for an extended period of time, like the opposite of Octane, where he's crazy loud. You would be a lot more silent. So you'd have like a 10-second burst of speed where you're completely silent, being able to charge a team. So that is this dude. He needs tweaking. This one is my one that needs the most tweaking, I think. So.
And the thing is, I guess I just start with this one now. But my first reaction to this was, this is how I imagined Revenant would have been, but he
Yeah.
turned out completely different.
Yes, this is
But-
how an assassin should be. It's a
Yeah.
little more ninja-esque, but oh well.
But yeah, overall, I have to agree with you. This looked kind of cool. I would actually like to play this kind of legend. And as far as the tweaking goes, I guess it could be still a little bit of tweaking, but overall, I think it should be still kind of fine like this.
I
Yeah.
think the tactical is maybe not super awesome, but I kind of like the pass, and I forgot to add, like, he has the climbing ability similar to Revenant.
Oh, yeah.
This dude can also do that. But I thought the like opening doors completely silent is insanely powerful. That most people think like, that's kind of crappy, but if you can open a door silently and then use an ultimate to sneak upstairs, and that's insane. So I just picture a team hiding on top of a roof or whatever, sniping down, and you're just a silent assassin coming in to kill them all. So that's how I
mean,
picture this dude.
What just came in my mind with this would be if he's an assassin, that he is maybe some kind of tactical, that he just can do some close-up damage. For example, um, strike them with the knife or something, or poison them even, maybe. There are so many possibilities, maybe, but yeah, I like the idea of a stealth assassin.
So maybe that's something, is like, instead of this tactical ability, is maybe split that tactical ability between the passive and the ultimate. And then their new tactical ability could be like a poison dart. So they could shoot a poison dart that would slowly drain somebody's health.
That would be cool, yeah.
Maybe to the point where they get down to like 15 health. You know, it doesn't touch their shields, but it drains their health slowly.
Or maybe even a poison knife, but I don't know, because that would make maybe a bit more sense because of his school, because of his whole skill set, that he's trying to be silent and that you're trying to get close. And it would be something around high risk, high reward gameplay.
That's true.
Could be fun.
Okay, I like that. So I'm just gonna add that to a tactical, is the like a poisoned knife. Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
So instead of hitting like a melee, you hit your tactical on, you know, within your like melee distance of somebody. You can poison them as well. I like it. All right, Zenko, you have any thoughts?
Mostly about the passive. I mean, about a climbing ability. I mean, I would not add a climbing ability, but maybe a kind of double jump or maybe like that. So not like the jumping pad height, but I don't know, maybe so he can reach higher spots.
Yeah, what about like a wall jump, where they can easily
like
wall
that.
Jump?
So that
or
you
like
can, after.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
So maybe like not I mean, Revenant can, I think, climb longer distances, right?
Yeah.
So that maybe he can, and normally you climb up a wall, and at the end you can do a jump up in the air. Maybe so that with his passive ability, so that you can you climb up, jump, and then continue climbing for a period of time, and after that, you can maybe do another jump. It's not.
So like, I mean, I could see that like working in like the elevator shafts with the ropes. So like you could, oh my god, I love it. So yeah, instead of using the rope to go up where everybody can hear, this person can climb up and jump back and forth silently. Oh my god. Okay. All right. So, did we just? I think we lost Kamiyo again. All right. So silent. So yeah, like a silent wall climb / jumping. Yeah, where they could maybe continuously do it, but it has to be like properly timed.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. And so it wouldn't be super useful in most locations, but in those ones it is. It's crazy powerful.
And
I like it.
I think,
Alright.
and again, it's another ability where if you use it to the fully potential, it can devastate a game player. I can just imagine the pro player, the rogue with it, maybe a bloodhound main. I just saw some clips of him where he does this insane wall jumps and times them so perfectly that he can instantly continue the fight without even putting him into a disadvantage. I mean, when I saw it first, the 1v3 from him where he just jumps against the wall, does a 180, throws an arc star into the guy, sticks it, and continues shooting and running. And we're like, what happened? So it's again, I like in general the idea of your concepts because they're like you can play them on an easy level, or you can spend time on it and master all their skill sets, just so you can continue to improve with all these 4 concepts which we had till now. It's nice to see, so that it's not like, okay, you play them, you know every ability, and that's it.
Yeah.
No, you know the abilities, you're learning them, and then you just go on and on and on and push your knowledge about his moveset and try to accomplish another goal or push your own limits and break them. So that's nice to have, because it's also always fun to do this awesome game mechanics. And so I would love to play that legend, if I'm honest, just to mess around with the people with his moveset, and also with this poisoning and the silent. It fits. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I think it fits into Apex pretty well. It fits his definition. My biggest worry was this guy with like the silent stuff, is how super powerful he's going to be, because like most people don't use Revenant's silent ability. Like the people who I see playing Revenant, I don't think use him quite right, or they just totally forget they can crouch and walk so fast and silently. But yeah, with this guy, you would be like, oh yeah, this is what this guy's based around. So I could see him being super useful.
To be honest, I never crouched with Revenant, I think. Yeah. Most of the part I just used the ultimate and say like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
But the crouch element, I just forgot about it.
Yeah.
And by the way, Dennis, you're muted if you didn't realize.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I just tried to type something as small idea, and that's why I just muted myself. So
is that for this, or you have your own concepts?
No, it's for this year.
All right, yeah, go ahead. Do you want to share your idea?
No.
He just keeps it for himself.
Basically, it would be another completely different concept.
Oh, okay, all right. So let's go ahead and hit my last one, because this one's super easy and obvious. It's basically like a Hulk. So the passive ability, double melee damage, and can strike down doors with one strike. So basically double with anything. And then this guy would obviously be fortified because he's super massive. I misspelled smash. So tactical ability is like a Hulk smash. Obviously, this is all copyright and you cannot use Hulk, but it would be, some type of, power fist, something like that. So able to kind of pound their fist into the ground. It propels enemies backwards with like a disorientation with them, and does like small amounts of damage, 10, 20, 30 damage, similar to like what the smoke can do, or the knuckle clusters. So pretty simple concept there. The ultimate one is like I thought like a steroid shot. I just picture the guy being like a giant wrestler or something. Almost like how like Forge may have been. I'm not sure what his abilities were supposed to be when he was unfortunately killed. But guy was going to do like a steroid shot, gives him a huge adrenaline boost, gives him back health, and then gives him like increased speed and jumping ability like Hulk would have. And then if he's knocked, so say, you know, he gets knocked, he can activate his ultimate, which gives him an instant self revive. Maybe takes like 3 seconds or something like that, and takes his health all the way up. So if he, you know, that way he doesn't have to use, if he has a gold knockdown, he wouldn't have to use it. He can utilize that ultimate ability.
I can already say, maybe you would not even have a copyright issue, because this is pretty much describing, at least in my imagination, Forge.
Yeah, and see, this
Forge,
is almost
the
how
one
I
who died.
kind of
Yeah.
pictured him, what he was maybe going to be, but I don't know.
But yeah, Zenko, you can go on.
I have an addition to the passive ability because of his single strike to destroy doors. I mean, the most annoying part about the doors is that you destroy them and you put yourself in a disadvantage, right? So you have the kick, the door is destroyed, and he's just standing there, probably with a massive to just one-shot you on the head. And that was really always the annoying part, so that you needed to throw a nade through a little hole in the door. What I would add would probably be the ability to keep the single strike to destroy doors, but also to knock the enemy a little bit back when he is standing right behind that door. So like you just smash through the door, hit the enemy, and launch him like, I don't know, 3 or 4 meters backwards, so that he cannot instantly have a clean shot on your face.
So most people are not aware of this. I've always been trying to keeping it to myself because it's kind of a hidden thing in Apex. Is this already exists? If you're hiding behind the door and somebody's trying to smash through it, when they break through and they hit it, if you melee at the same time, you do knock them back like 10 meters. Like they go flying back. It's actually in the game already, but nobody does it.
Okay.
So let's keep that on the down low. But it is a thing that they can strike back. So maybe on the opposite end, maybe when he melees, he already has his gun ready. Maybe there's less delay of a time of when he's like striking through or bashing through a door. He already has his gun ready to rock and roll, so he can like shoot and melee at the same time. Something like that.
But just about, I would say, only when it's the door. Otherwise, it would be really strong combined with a shotgun, I think. I mean, imagine taking a massive shot and a melee hit at the same time. I mean, you don't even need to hit now all your bullets, pellets with the massive, but imagine that, so you can even hit less and do still a good amount of damage when you can also melee at the same time.
Yeah. Hopefully this guy has like the Austrian accent though. That's what that's what I picture. Yeah, it was very much like a Forge / Hulk type of dude, but yeah, with the Austrian accent. Yes. So yeah, any other thoughts with this dude?
I have just an animation idea about the ultimate ability. So when he is down, maybe he gives us the steroid shot, and instead of just standing up, he does a kind of backflip animation, so he's instantly on the foot again and ready to continue the fight. But other than that, I can imagine it can also be fun just to mess around with his abilities, like just go from building to building and destroy everything and just go on a rampage. And if you're down, you just give you a shot and continue the destruction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Forge smash.
Yeah, Forge smash. All right, so it sounds like Kamiyo, you have another idea.
Yeah, it just came quickly into my mind. I can't explain it to you, but before I do this, again, to the Hulk legend, I think something, or Forge legend, something like this would be pretty fun to play in this game and would mix up things a little bit more, because you would actually be able to do a little bit. So I didn't understand it completely. Can he do more damage with melee attacks? No.
Yeah, it's
okay.
double. Yeah, that's his main passive. Is when he strikes.
Oh,
it does
yeah.
double.
Sorry. Oh my god, I'm blind. Sorry. Yeah.
No problem.
But yeah, then this would be pretty fun to play. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see people just like, I'm just gonna play. I'm not even gonna pick up a gun. I'm just gonna try to melee and win. I could see people doing that.
I like the idea. Yeah.
Pretty simple
Me too.
concept. All right, so you had another idea though, like another legend.
Yeah, it just came quickly into my mind. Something like, I guess if you guys know One Piece, there's one guy who's called Smoker, and he has the ability to be smoke.
Okay.
But that was just my idea around that this character, so the passive would be that you have some kind of a dash to the side, so that you are just smoking to the side,
Okay.
and you maybe leave some kind of a smoke decoy, so that your enemy maybe gets confused for a second. That would be the passive idea. The tactical idea would be you can travel through smoke, including Bangalore smoke, but therefore I'm not sure if you would just leave a trail of smoke be behind them. So there I'm not entirely sure. And his ultimate could be fun, but also be broke. It's just like when you activate it, you create some kind of a circle of smoke decoys,
Okay.
and then you are just one of these decoys, and you are able to shoot your enemies, but your enemies don't know who you are. So it's just like, again, a confusion thing.
Okay.
But it's just
I can see the guy just like vaping the whole time. He's just smoking weed the whole time, something like that. So.
But yeah,
Nice.
It was a quick and dirty idea. Just
All right, I like it. So unfortunately, like we have to wrap up because we're like at the end. But this might be able to continue if you guys think of more. We could probably do a whole another whole like episode on this. So
that would be a good idea. So
I like it.
then we could come actually up with more planned ideas. Then.
More planned ideas. So.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and wrap up with that. So thank you very much. You guys have any last thoughts? We have like seconds left.
It was fun to do, in my opinion.
Yeah.